The subjunctive, the most common mistakes. A ranking of the most mistaken subjunctive forms in Italy would certainly see, at the top and tied for first place, these four forms: vadi, facci, dassi, stassi, along with other related forms like vadino and faccino, dasse and dassero, stasse and stassero, and so on. Why are these verbs mistaken more often than others, to the point that they alone represent the entire category of wrong subjunctives? Things in language never happen by chance. In fact, even though it may seem strange, these mistakes are actually attempts to fix anomalies that exist within the Italian system itself. Let's see why, starting with vadi and facci, incorrect present subjunctives of andare, to go, and fare, to do or make. Speakers put andare and fare into the warehouse of first conjugation verbs, that is, the verbs whose infinitive ends in are, like parlare, to speak, or cantare, to sing, lottare, to fight, or puntare, to aim. As we know, first conjugation verbs in the present subjunctive end in I, che io parli, that I speak, che io canti, that I sing, che io lotti, that I fight, che io punti, that I aim. The logic, correct, behind a vadi, incorrect, is that all verbs ending in are have their present subjunctive ending in I. So the subjunctive of andare should also end in I, so it should be vadi. In reality, the reasons why the present subjunctive of andare is vada and not vadi lie in the history of this verb. Andare combines the heritage of two Latin verbs, ambulare, which gave rise to the form starting with and vadere, which gave rise to the form starting with va. Notice that vadere doesn't end in are like first conjugation verbs, but in ere, like second conjugation verbs, leggere, to read, scrivere, to write. Therefore, in the present subjunctive, it takes the same ending as ere verbs, a. That's why we say lega, that he or she reads, scriva, that he or she writes. We also say vada, that he or she goes. Something similar happened with the subjunctive forms of fare. So it's the language that's irregular because of its complex, layered history, not the brain of someone who tries to smooth out these irregularities. A very similar argument applies to the infamous dassi and stassi, incorrect imperfect subjunctives of dare, to give, and stare, to stay. For all first conjugation verbs, the imperfect subjunctive ends in assi, parlassi, that I spoke, cantassi, that I sang, lottassi, that I fought, puntassi, that I aimed. For all, except for dare and stare, whose imperfect subjunctives end in essi, dessi, that I gave, stassi, that I stayed. In short, they're the ones that are wrong in being irregular, not the people who apply to dare and stare the same assi ending as all the other are verbs. Of course, that's a paradox, because the forms of a language aren't right or wrong in themselves, they simply are. So, since in Italian the accepted forms are dessi and stessi, be careful to use these, and not the incorrect forms dassi and stassi.